Hello. Today I wanted to talk about anime. But no, I can't just talk about anime like normal people would talk about anime. Like, whoa, did you see that episode of Dragon Ball Z? It was so wicked cool. Oh no, I have to break apart anime and study it from a social standard. So, since I am breaking apart anime to actually observe Japanese culture, shall we get started? And first and foremost, I know people are going, well, what right do you think you have to actually judge or stereotype of people on anime? Anime is not real. Well, that's very true. But anime is drawn by Japanese people. Japanese people are real. At least last time I checked. So, let's get started. Now, I have a little list of things I've observed through many different animes. So, all these things that I'm noting aren't just things that occur in one given anime. They're things that occur throughout many different animes that I've noticed. And I'm going to cover two topics today. The first one is mysticism in anime. Now, in mysticism in anime, not including the possessed evil demonic sword, you know, that is 25 feet long, that has the radiating energy, that can shoot lasers. So we'll just kind of push that one off to the side for the moment. I wanted to cover the archetype of the monk. Now, the monk seems to have several weapons at his disposal. The first one is the rod. I'm not sure if that's what it would be called in Japanese culture, but it's a long rod with a metal bar at the top with several metal rings hanging off the metal loop. And for some reason they always seem to focus on the jingle of the rings. I'm not sure what's the cultural importance of that, or even what's the importance of that item, but I've noticed it produced in a lot of animes, or shown in a lot of animes. The next one would probably be the sutra or talisman, which is paper, you know, or a scroll with usually writing on it, which is either a protective barrier, dispels demons and whatnot. Did that ever actually take place, or is it actually based off of Japanese myths? Someone could let me know. I'd appreciate it. Okay, the next one is the beads. Now, I've noticed, and I'll give an example of this, the character from Inuyasha, the monk, which already has the archetype of the staff, but he also has beads around his hands. Also in Shaman King, the one girl uses beads as a holy relic or weapon or medium of some sort. So what's the actual cultural significance of, you know, the beaded necklace or bracelet? And also sometimes on the said beaded necklace or bracelet, I will notice a symbol that resembles a lot like a yin yang, but only half of it, usually looped or hanging off the bracelet or necklace. Does that have any cultural significance? Inquiring minds probably really don't want to know, but I do, because I have no life, which is already kind of a given, because I watch so much anime and I spend so much time analyzing it. I need help, and I know it, which I'm going to search for right after I watch more episodes of Bleach. Now, since we've covered that, let's cover another popular topic, one I'm very fond of. Kind of. Okay, it's a love-hate relationship, but let's cover eating. Now, first and foremost, I've noticed that chopsticks are unlike, well, the Japanese call chopsticks are a bit different from some of the American chopsticks I've seen. They're actually attached and you have to break them apart. Next, I want to go to the boxed lunch. Unlike Americans, where we have our boxed lunch being either brown bagged, put in Ziploc bags, or put in little tin boxes, which has gone out of style since 1980s. The Japanese seem to actually have a boxed lunch, which is a box with several partitions in the box, sectioning off each and every single one of the foods, which I find very cool. I was wondering if the partitions come out, or do you have to use a different box per each meal you make, depending on the parameters of the food. That'd be a fancy word for saying size and the dimension of it. Ooh. I have no life. We've covered this already. Next, ramen. Now, in America, we have ramen, but it's, you know, dried packages of noodles. In Japan, they seem to have whole restaurants devoted to the consumption of ramen and the preparation of ramen. And the ramen looks exquisite. We're talking like maybe 180 different kinds of ramen flavors and varieties here, which to me looks heavenly. So if anyone has any good ramen recipes, if you want to leave them on this page, that would be doable too. I'm not sure if we've covered hand signs yet, but also in several different Japanese animes I've noticed the hand signs being a part of the mysticism category, and these hand signs, whatever they may be, seem to have some sort of cultural reference. Once again, being produced through several different animes. Now, with this aside, I've come to my own conclusion of judging Japanese culture, modern Japanese culture, through animes. Now, in America, we have the stereotype that Japanese people are all smart and they all practice kung fu. But if you think about it, what choice do they have when they're constantly under attack by huge gamma-irradiated lizards and atomic-powered robots and samurais wielding possessed swords and half-demon hybrids trying to slaughter and conquer the world? And then Vortex is opening up to the Meiji era that's trying to like spew out into modern-day Japan. And then huge fault lines crack open, which release evil aliens that have laid dormant for centuries. So what alternative do you have when you're constantly under threat from more powerful enemies? Is to either, you know, become smarter or fight better in order to stay alive from the huge possessed swords that are trying to steal souls. So this is why I believe Japanese people are smarter and all practice kung fu or karate. Ow. Yes, by the way, that was sarcasm for humor impaired. I don't actually believe that about Japanese culture. But I do believe that probably at every single Tokyo railway station there's a little box with a little lizard symbol inside of it, and it says, you know, break box and pull alarm in case, you know, Godzilla attacks. Because it's the only thing that makes sense. They would have to have an early warning system for every time, you know, some huge giant moth tried to attack their city. Actually, by now, probably the police force exists of huge giant robots to counteract since they're all super smart and practice karate. So they probably have a huge giant task force of giant robots ran by the police department by now. I don't know. If I ever visit Japan, I'll try to take pictures of the police task force robots. Sometimes I speak so quickly that my tongue actually, like, gets tied. Ow. Thank you. So, anyway, if any of you have any tidbits of information, I would really appreciate it. Also, an interesting thing that I found out is that Japanese animation originates from the 1950s black and white Betty Boop animation style that we used to produce. And that so much of their stuff actually, a lot of their post-apocalyptic themes come from the fact that we dropped 2 giant bombs on their ass. So that might have something to do with some of their artistic visions, such as Akira. So, any tidbits of information and discussion would be more than welcome. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.